Hi all, Hipper here. Today I am going to take a look at something that has been pretty much bothering me since day one when this game came out. And it's pretty much divisions. The fact that division play is mixed up with solo play. I don't think that's a very good idea, and I think it's a lazy implementation from Wargaming's side that really hurts, well, the gameplay and how much fun people have in this game here. Well, except for the divisions, of course. And I just want to underline here, I'm not taking a swipe at players who play in division, of course. I mean, they're just people playing with their friends, having a good time, and the game gives them the option. My criticism is directed at Wargaming, who has allowed this to take place, because I think that divisions belong in their own game mode. There should be a standard solo and a standard divisions, where if you are in a division you will only be matched with other divisions. And honestly, wouldn't that be more fun as well? Because let's face it, a division of 3 very good players will absolutely rule in this game here. And there are several reasons for that. So in this example here, I'm facing a very, very good division of three guys on the opposite team. So pretty much the only option I have to even coming remotely close to winning this game here is to just punch through my own flank as quickly as possible, so I'm able to get at the broadsides of the division. And the division has spawned on the furthest point away from me, which makes it even harder. Now I've seen that the destroyer player in the division on the opposite team is a lucky big boss, and I know for a fact that he is an extremely good player. So that's why I have to chase him down as quickly as possible before he kills off all my battleships, basically. I don't really have a choice, it has to happen. So that's why I am rushing like a madman here. I have to take out this Cleveland, and I have to take out the battleship behind him. And perhaps then the destroyer will run away, or perhaps it won't. But either way, I have to move, and I have to move fast. And the only reason I'm doing this is because I know players in this game, and I know that Lucky Big Boss and his division are absolutely deadly if you don't put them in checkmate early on. And with me starting this far away, that's really hard for me. And obviously the average player wouldn't have a clue about that. They're just playing the game, and they're just having fun, and they're getting sunk, and that's just the way it is. But as a more experienced player, you can clearly see what's going on, and it's pretty much up to you to stop it happening, which is really hard when you're just one player. And of course you can say, well, Hipper, why don't you just play with other guys then and have a better chance? Well, sure, yeah, of course, but that doesn't really change the problem here. The problem is that divisions are mixed up with just random players. And I mean, in some games that works. See, if you're playing Battlefield, for example, and you're in a squad of 3 or 4 guys, you don't really have that much influence on the gameplay, because you're only 3 or 4 people out of 64, so it doesn't really matter that much. In Legends, on the other hand, if you are 3 players in a division, that means you are a third of the team, and you have your own spawn to start off at, and you can pretty much just dictate the battle, because you take up so much of the team. So had this been like 64 ships on each side, well, divisions wouldn't matter at all, pretty much. They would have very little impact on the battle. But because this is only 9 versus 9, so if 3 of those players, the 9 players on one side, are working together and are really good players, and have a game plan obviously and know what they're doing, they're going to win, absolutely, and there's no doubt about it. And I'm not going to say it gets frustrating, but it's just a little bit cheap, I think. So that's why I really think that divisions should be in their own separate game mode. I really think it's a no-brainer, really. So like I said before, this means that as a player who kind of knows what's going on here, it's up to you to do your best to stop these like divisions just totally ruffle stomping everything. And of course the average player wouldn't have a clue what's going on. So here, like, I've cleaned up my flank and I've taken the cap on the way, and now I can finally turn in. And this is the critical moment as well, because usually 10 minutes into the battle is where divisions start to make their move. Because usually they sit back and they let as many ships sink as possible without giving up their cap. And 10 minutes left still gives them enough time to move in and take their cap from whoever's left, and still be able to win the game fairly easily. And at this point in the battle, if you see, we're usually down to about half the ships. So if you have a division of 3 people left now, and they're only facing 4 enemy ships who aren't coordinating it or anything like that, this is like cakewalk. It's very, very easy. You just gotta play a little bit smart when you're in a division, and you will win. So I know for a fact that I cannot let this lightning player here enter the middle of the map, and it's going to cost me my life, and it's going to impact on how much enjoyment I have in this game here, because I pretty much have to sacrifice myself to get in sonar range to push this destroyer back, because that is the only chance we have. If he's allowed to make his way through the center of the map, he'll be able to torp everyone, and I know for a fact that he will. So I cannot let it happen. As you can see, he's already capping B here, so we're already a little bit late here. So I don't have radar, I only have sonar, so that's all I have to use. And of course he has 2 battleships backing him up, so this is going to be like a very, very nasty fight for me, and I will die. I'm going into this fully knowing that I won't survive. But if I can keep this guy from capping, like, we're gonna have a chance then at least. But like I said before, this is not how I want to play the game. But I am forced into like making stupid maneuvers like this, because otherwise it's a sure loss. So by making this kind of distraction here, I am stretching their push a bit, and they are getting a little bit frazzled. And well, that is the plan, because I just need to buy a few minutes, 1 or 2 minutes, and the remainder of my blue ship should be able to finish the jobs. Like I said before, I just could not allow this lightning here to get through, because that would be the end of the blue team's game for sure. So I sacrificed myself for that, and I don't mind sacrificing myself. But if I have to do it every time I face a Unicum division, it gets a little bit tiring, honestly. So really what I'm getting at here is, like I said before, it's not a dig at people who play in divisions. I mean, I do that too myself, there's nothing wrong with that. It's a dig at wargaming, because they're letting this happen. You should not mix what is pretty much deathmatch and team deathmatch in the same game mode. Divisions should have their own game mode, where if you are a division, you get matched only against other divisions. And like I said before, that's also more fair, and I'm sure it would be more fun for the people playing in divisions as well, because let's face it, a super Unicum division heading into a game full of randoms, it's a turkey shoot. So, I mean, I don't find much fun or enjoyment in it, to be honest. So I think it would make sense to have a separate game mode, and perhaps the coming clan feature will take care of that. I kind of hope so, but it is a problem in the game, and it has been there ever since it was released. And yeah, so it really means that division players are having a good time on the expense of solo players, which really isn't fair, and really is something that should be changed. And again, this wouldn't be so much of a problem if there was more players allowed in this game here. Or if divisions perhaps were limited to 2 players. I don't know. I think it would still be an issue, but it wouldn't be as big of an issue. Because on PC, each side is 12 ships, and already then divisions play a much smaller role. So If each side, like I said before, had 16 ships or even more than that, the division problem would be pretty much non-existent. But because we only have 9 ships and 3 of them can team up this way, it just throws the game balance off completely, I think, and it's to the detriment of the game, unfortunately. So a game like this doesn't happen very often. Usually the triple division of Unicum players wins, and I mean that's totally logically there's nothing wrong with that, that's just the way it is. But the next video I'll put up, I'll show you exactly what usually happens. But in this case here, we actually pull off the win, and trust me, that doesn't happen very often, because I keep a good eye on these things here. Like I know most of the good players in the game, and I know who divisions up together, and I know what goes on basically. And I'm guessing most players don't. They just play the game, and they happen to lose the game. They don't see any pattern or anything there. So hopefully we'll get the clan feature soon, so we can get rid of this, which is basically ganking, more or less. If you played EVE Online, you know what I mean. So really, wargaming, I don't think you really thought this through. 2-player divisions, I could probably accept that on a team of 9, but 3 players, I think is just, it's way too powerful, absolutely. Unfortunately. So yeah, that was a 1 in a million win against the Unicum division here, and the next video I'll show you what usually happens tomorrow. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you out there.